What's up?
How we doing today?
How we doing?
I'm doing all right.
We just shook hands. I know you can't tell, but maybe one day we'll get visuals.
Maybe. We are not. we're not poor.
Who are you?
I'm Jeikufilms. And who are you?
I'm Nick Mantuano. I make clothes and films and stuff, and sometimes music.
This is episode 4
of the Jeikufilms podcast.
As you can see, I'm bad at this.
It's all good. I mean, you got sick. That's not your fault.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. I missed a couple weeks. I had pneumonia. Nick was out of town for a week, and we're here.
We're finally back.
We were here. Sorry.
And
we were gonna review 2 movies. Well, there'll be 2 separate videos.
But they were gonna be in one.
But Paramount sucks ass.
Paramount
might be the worst streaming platform I've ever seen in my life.
So we'll get into that. But anyway, today,
Nick, tell them the movie we
reviewed 3 Godzilla films in a row.
Yes.
We did like a little trilogy. So we thought, what if we do our films in like trilogies like this? So the film we're reviewing today is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the first one from 1990.
Yes.
If not my favorite comic book movie of all time.
And
it was the first one I've ever seen. I grew up watching it, seen it 1,000 million times.
It was pretty good.
Amazing.
It was pretty good. I really did enjoy it.
So good. So, I mean, a little background. Ninja Turtles started off as a comic book series. It was a pretty dark and gritty comic book series.
They all wore red bandanas.
Yeah, I mean, on the cover they all wore red bandanas.
And they were dope as fuck. I thought they looked badass.
Yeah, I mean, the original Ninja Turtle comics were a little more adult. There was cursing, there was blood, there was drinking. But, like, it was really cool. And so then, when that comic series blew up, and they made the cartoon series in 1989, and they dumbed it down for kids and for the toy companies and all that. They made all the different mutants and stuff, and that's what blew it up into a humongous franchise.
I wonder how the writers felt about that, like the original ones for the comic books.
Yeah.
I wonder if they even like the idea of it being for kids instead of adults.
It's literally what turned it into an entire franchise. So, I mean, they can't...
They probably would have
appreciated
that part,
but... yeah, I mean, Turtle Mania was nuts in the late 80s, early 90s.
You could imagine, yeah. They had toys, they had shows, and even movies.
The cartoon, the movies. It was the cartoons, the action figures, the cereal.
Cereal.
The pies. They sold Ninja Turtle pies full of green goo, and I heard they were absolutely disgusting. But yeah,
it doesn't sound appetizing. So.
All of this mania, all this hype led up to 1990 when they made the very first live-action Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles full-length feature film. And oh my gosh, did they do a good job.
I love this film.
I love this movie.
Is a great
this is my favorite comic book movie of all time.
I'm just going to get to the costume designs.
Yeah, so first of all, the Turtles.
The Turtles look really good for the time.
They look
and I think they hold
11 out of 10 amazing.
And this is when we were watching Godzilla films, so we can appreciate suits, practical suits and stuff. Suitmation has always been great to me. So seeing this, it just looks great.
These were made by the Jim Henson Company. These were made by the Muppet people.
Yes.
So obviously they were going to look great, but goddamn.
They look fantastic.
Fucking costumes.
Except for the mouths.
Sometimes the mouths are a little janky.
No, I didn't mean that mouth.
I mean, the dudes...
I didn't mean those mouths.
Oh, you mean the human mouths that are inside?
Yeah. There's a couple of shots in the movie you'll see.
Sometimes
you will see human mouths.
But I'm not talking about that because literally these suits are so amazing. And the guys in them fighting in these giant rubber suits, incredible.
It looked fun. I would have... Splinter even looks good.
Splinter looks amazing too. And like he doesn't really do a lot of moving.
No.
But like they carry him around.
I would have loved to see him move more.
And like
I'll get to the fight later.
The practical effects and the visuals of this movie are just so like dirty and like foggy in New York and just it's so good.
Yep, it is
so
New York.
Real.
Yeah, it looks good for New York.
This movie took like a lot more. So it took inspiration from the cartoons in that it gave them each their personalities. Leonardo being the leader, Raphael like being a loner, Mikey goofing off, Donatello being like the thinker.
Yeah.
And it gave
Donnie
him,
gets
like,
kind of sidelined in this.
a little bit. He's voiced by Corey Feldman, who plays notably Mouth and the Goonies.
And then Goonies. We're gonna review that movie one day.
One day, yeah, we'll get
That
there.
movie's peak.
But yeah, Donnie gets a little sidelined, but they all have their personalities. Donnie gets paired up with Mikey a lot in this movie. They're like homies, but they all have their little personalities. They all have their different colored masks. That all comes from the cartoon. However, pretty much everything else is straight from the comics. Like, it's a little bit more adult. Like, Raphael, like, the iconic thing is that, like, Raph says damn, like, 3 times. And then there's, like, when he's chasing Casey Jones through the city and he screams it, like, throughout the whole city. But, like, yeah, it's a really... And there's, like, a lot of adult themes, too. Like...
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Of, like, brotherhood and just, like, Raph.
I'm just gonna flat out say, guys, I do not like Casey Jones. I never liked Casey Jones from anything.
Listen.
From anything he's ever been on. All the cartoon shows, even the movies. He's just always been the biggest downgrade for me.
I'm just the biggest Ninja Turtle dork you'll ever meet. So, like, I've always just had a soft spot for Casey Jones. But after watching this movie as a 21-year-old, instead of, like, a 6-year-old or even, like, a 16-year-old, like, or even a 20-year-old. Like, last year when I watched this movie, I thought I liked Casey Jones. But, like, this time around, I don't know, man. Like, he was really stupid and really annoying.
Yeah. Worse than that. What's that kid's name? What's that kid's name that you hated a lot? I hated him too. He's with Shredder's group.
Oh, in the first one?
Yeah.
Danny?
Danny.
I didn't hate him. I liked him.
No, I hate Danny.
So,
Holy
yeah, this movie has some, like, original characters that
Danny
never
would
show
be
up
equivalent
ever.
to a cuck lord nowadays. I look at him and...
April... We'll get into the human characters, but basically, yeah, the Turtles are all great. Like, they're all perfect.
No, I love the Turtles.
Personalities are perfect. Raphael has, like, his own thing going on in this movie, which is...
The actors did great.
Yeah.
The suits look great.
So did the voice actors.
It's voice acting, yeah. Look at that. I actually like April on this.
The Turtles are perfect, but they take a lot of inspiration from the original comics in that, especially the origin story. So in the cartoons, Splinter was a human being who was transformed into a rat. But in the comics, and as well as this movie, Splinter is a pet rat that got mutated.
Yeah, guys, I didn't even know that.
Yeah,
I always thought the origin was like literally from the show.
Nah, this is
like
the
he
OG
just
origin.
like he was a human that just transformed a rat with ooze. But no, that's not the case here.
But doesn't that like make sense now that you think about it? Like, of course, the '80s cartoon had like the dude just turned into a rat.
That's how I always looked at it, and I was like, okay.
But yeah, no, that's the original origin, which I kind of appreciate. And but yeah, so the human characters in this, there's first and foremost. Well, let's talk about Splinter, Master Splinter. He's great in this.
Splinter's goated.
I mean, what
Nothing
else?
New.
What can you say?
Nothing new. Splinter's always been goated
he's
in
the
everything
best.
he's been in.
He gives so many great fatherly speeches. There's
Especially
a lot
in the Nickelodeon show, he's the best in that.
But like even in this movie, he like carries so many of the themes. And like there's the scene where like he's captured and they're meditating at the farm.
Yeah.
And they see the vision of him and they start bawling.
Yeah, you brought up with
Beautiful.
Mikey. Mikey been goofing around basically the whole movie, but you see this one scene
But
that
you
Mikey's
notice he's
taking.
crying
Yeah,
the
he's crying
hardest.
the most because he's been trying
He's
to
like
hold
been
it
pushing
in.
it off.
Yep.
Yeah. But
And I'm like, that's great character development at that point. And
Splinter is like the heart of this whole film. All right, now human characters. First and foremost, April O'Neil.
April O'Neil. I liked April in this.
Everybody loves April. You think she's getting this? She's played by...
I think she's great in this.
I think her name's Judith Hogue. I might be getting that wrong. If I am, I'm incredibly sorry. I'm about to Google it.
Does she wear the yellow jacket in this?
So in the
the
cartoon, she's got like the yellow jumpsuit. Which
Yeah,
is, like,
I never liked that.
But they kind of adapted it, sort of, in this movie. Like, they kind of did a nod to it. There's a scene where she's wearing a yellow raincoat. But this movie's really trying to take more after the comics. However, she was African American in the comics, so it's like...
So yeah,
they changed that too.
Yeah. Because even in the newer movie...
It's a mixture. It really is a mixture.
Because even in the new movies, so they kind of more accurate in the newer movies.
Yeah, they're more accurate.
Yeah.
Like, everybody got pissed off at that in the
Yeah.
new movie. And especially in Rise, like Rise of the Ninja Turtles, when that came out, everybody got pissed off at like April being black, but like she was
like,
literally...
if you go back...
to the very first ever April, it's crazy.
If you read a fucking book...
If you read a fucking book!
then,
Yeah,
you
no,
might catch
literally.
on real quick.
But she's cool in this. The actress does a really good job, like... playing
Yeah,
somebody
I
who,
like April. Usually
is freaking the hell out at like these random ass turtle things, but she's like kind of like, and she's like, you can tell she's stressed out all the time because like she's got her job and she's got.
I think her boss is a perv.
Yeah, so
he just barges into her house. I don't know.
April's boss Charles and his son Danny are exclusive to this film. They never show up in any other media.
Okay.
They're really fucking annoying. I like Danny. I think Danny's fine. He's like
I did not like Danny in this.
They're kind of like a random like side plot of like father son, but like I don't know. They weren't really needed.
No.
Danny is a member of the Foot Clan.
Yeah.
And
oh my god,
Charles is just a weirdo. That
another
just
thing I
walks
don't
into
like
April's
about this
house every morning while she's getting ready for work.
This is another thing I don't like about this. The Foot Clan is just people that just random people in the streets, and they just say, "Hey, you want to join our clan?"
So the Foot Clan
that is so lame to me. And they mostly just pick children up. That is so lame to me.
So basically, how the Foot Clan works in this movie is the Shredder, Oroku Saki. Spoiler alert: Splinter's the dude who killed Splinter's master.
Yes.
Is now the Shredder, and he's in New York, and he's recruiting like young kids and teenagers who like feel like they don't belong with their parents or whatever, and he's recruiting them into this like weird warehouse to like become ninjas and steal shit. And it's like but they're like they have this hideout where they're like playing arcade games and smoking cigars and shit because they're like the bad kids or whatever. But like then there's like the dojo where like they're wearing like the black masks and shit, and they just beat the crap out of each other.
Yeah.
And then they all fight the turtles, and it's wild. Like it's the main theme of this film is fatherhood. Like fucking Splinter and the Turtles, Splinter and Raphael mostly.
Yeah.
Whatchamacallit, Charles and Danny. Who cares?
Charles and Danny, yeah, whatever.
But like even like the Shredder and the Foot Clan, like as like a toxic fatherhood. It's like all about fatherhood, and like Casey Jones gives him the speech at the end where he's like, "You call this a family?" Like, what do you call this? That right there and that down there?
Yeah,
a family.
Oh my god, I love Raphael's accent in this movie.
Oh yeah, Raph has a heavy, thick New York accent.
I love it.
But yeah, I mean, the Foot Clan was like interesting. I kind of like it. Gives it more character and personality, the fact that it's just a bunch of random ass kids, because like in the cartoon it was robots. It's like,
yeah,
obviously they did that so that like it like cut their heads off and shit and like still have it be a kids show, but this movie's a little bit more adult, so they just beat up kids. In fact, this movie got a lot of complaints from parents.
I bet parents were just not fun back in these days.
And that shows in the second movie, but
like,
we'll get to that.
Like, how are you not gonna have fun with this? Like, let your children have fun. Let kids be kids, man.
Yeah. What's a little violence?
Yeah,
we
exactly.
turned out fine. But
hey, grow up.
Oh jeez.
Like, maybe the parents need to grow up.
Maybe. Interesting. But yeah. So what do you think about the Shredder in this?
I like Shredder, but
kind of
he's barely in the movie. He probably has like 3 minutes total screen time, probably.
And he barely has lines.
Yeah, and his fights.
When he
his
fights
first
the
fight,
turtles at the end,
which
it's
I
awesome.
kept saying, I kept telling you, like, as we find, I'm like, this should be easy. Like,
yeah,
Shredder. If Shredder like gets
all four of them.
If Shredder loses this, then I can't even like Shredder in this because Shredder is supposed to be their toughest villain. And if he gets whooped
smacks
easily,
all four turtles.
Yeah.
Light work, and then then Splinter makes his way up on the rooftop. And
oh yeah, that.
Shredder just starts charging at Splinter, and Splinter literally takes out a nunchuck and like wraps it around his wrist or something, and like trips him and like throws him off the roof. And he's like hanging there, and he's like, "Oh, like a Rokusaki, for death comes to everybody, but for you it will come without honor." But like Shredder cuts him off because he's like trying to kill him, but Splinter catches it and he just drops him, and he's like, "Without honor," and he drops him into the garbage compactor. And freaking Casey Jones
commits murder in this.
Commits straight murder. Says, "Oops," pulls the lever,
and then it crushes
the Shredder. This is just a man.
He just committed murder right in front of all his people.
Except he didn't, because he comes back in the second one. But whatever.
Spoilers.
Yeah.
Just if you didn't know that, I mean, they can't just kill off a villain like that easily.
But he should have been dead. But yeah. I mean, it was cool when he fought the turtles, but otherwise kind of underwhelming.
No.
And then there's Tatsu, who's like his second in command, who's like the little short, angry,
you don't
bald
like him.
guy. He's just angry and annoying, and we don't need him. But
I found having a henchman, and then he proceeded to beat the shit out of all those kids in the locker room when he got butthurt from Shredder.
Yeah, like that was stupid. I always hated that scene.
I'm like, man's having a temper tantrum. He's starring shit, then he looks at one of the kids and just proceeds to beat the hell out of him. And I was like, oh my god, yeah, take your anger out on them, just not
Yeah, no, that was crazy.
Shredder, because you know you can't beat him.
So why don't you like Casey Jones?
He's just never been a good character.
I kind of get he annoyed me.
He's never been a good character in anything he's really been in. I don't like him from even my favorite show, the Nickelodeon one later on, 2012.
Well, he sucks in that.
And I don't like him in this. I don't like him in the movies. I love Stephen Amell, but I don't like him in that either. It's just never really been interesting. He's just this stupid ass kid. And
I mean, listen,
with a hockey stick.
He was cool in the comics.
He would get beat up by anyone.
He was a pissed off vigilante who didn't fuck with the law, so he just beat people up himself in the name of justice.
Yeah,
but he was crazy.
I don't know if you ever watched
short fuse.
I don't know if you ever watched.
He was cool. He used to be cool.
Death Battle when they showed Kick-Ass versus CJ. Because that's his name, right? From the Kick-Ass movies, it's just Kick-Ass, right?
Yeah, I think so.
And they had him versus CJ. You gotta watch that. I won't spoil who wins, but CJ kind of fucking sucks. But he does some cool shit in that fight. I'll give him that. But he just never really interests me. And plus, when you're showing me the Turtles and Splinter and Shredder, they all are more interesting than CJ than the guy with a hockey mask and a hockey stick.
I mean, I always liked Casey Jones, but I understand why he's kind of a bitch.
Yeah.
But the Turtles were great.
I think the Turtles all had their own separate personalities, and they were all great. And this is a great.
Wait, let's talk about all right. So let's start talking about the plot of the movie. In short, the Turtles, they live in the sewer. Blah, yeah. If you don't know, freaking wait, I'm how do you explain this in short? This is literally the I can't. I'm gonna sound like I need a straitjacket, but basically, there's this dude in Japan who fought another dude in Japan, and then the evil dude killed him. And then his pet rat watched him die and escaped to the sewers of New York somehow. And because he mimicked all the moves of his previous master, he now knows ninjutsu. And then he rescues 4 baby turtles that get covered in goo. And then they turn into humanoid mutants. And then he teaches the 4 turtles ninjutsu. And then they fight an evil cheese grater and live in the sewers of New York City.
Well, that's pretty much...
So that's the premise.
That's pretty fair.
So they live in the sewers, and then April O'Neil, the Foot Clan is at large, all this stuff's getting stolen, it's Shredder's running an empire with these kids. Literally running an empire.
With children.
With these children. And then, they mug April O'Neil, and then she gets saved by the Turtles, but, she keeps getting mugged and shit. And,
yeah, but that's always been her character, though. Yeah, that's.
At one point, she gets knocked out. Raph brings her home because it's what's he gonna do? Leaves her on the couch. She wakes up and it's where the fuck am I? Who are you people?
But I feel I have more of a crush than Donatello with
Mikey
with
was
yeah. Mike was in love with her, watching her on TV in the news, and she popped out. Yeah. I thought bro was about to kick his feet up.
Yeah, nah, Mikey wanted her.
Yeah.
It's so gross, dude. But yeah.
I wrote a couple of things.
Yeah,
I wrote Burger King. Burger King is a shout out in this. I said, "Boo, Casey Jones. Fight scenes are pretty good. CJ remains to be a trash character. Turtles look really good for the time, and damn, he stole all those what? Oh, boxes. What? Oh yeah, boxes. Because in the beginning of the movie, the Foot Clan, because they're stealing shit in the beginning.
Jake takes the notes, by the way.
And something. There's this whole truck, a UPS truck, and he's just delivering a package, and you see all the packages are there, and he's just gone for probably 5 seconds. He turns around and they're just all gone instantly.
Yeah, this. The Foot Clan's at large, and they keep mugging April, and at one point, but the Turtles keep saving her, but then they knock her out, so they bring her back, and that's how they meet and become homies. But then, they get followed back by a foot soldier. So then, when they're chilling at April's house, the Turtles, they break in, and they kidnap Splinter, and then that's the point of the movie. But they know where their lair is, so they're oh shit, now where do we go? So they go to April's old farmhouse, which is iconic to this movie.
I know they reek of ass, and the part that... I know the Turtles do not smell good, so the part they don't leave off an odor in her apartment or
the farmhouse. It's kind of crazy. But yeah, the Turtles, April and Casey all go to the farmhouse, and then they're meditating, and then they have like around the fire, and they have the vision of Splinter telling them like, "I'm all good," basically.
I'm all good.
And then they like start crying and shit, and they're like, "All right, it's time to go back." So they go back to the sewers, and who's there? Fucking Danny.
Danny. Fucking Danny. I did not like Danny. I'll say it again. My voice is cracked.
But yeah, Casey Jones and Danny infiltrate because they were about to kill Splinter. So they infiltrate, steal Splinter back, save him, and then the Turtles and the Foot Clan get in a big fight and blah blah blah, and then that leads to them on the roof at the Shredder, and then Splinter tripping his ass and Casey Jones
committing murder
in the trash compactor. Happily ever after.
Happily ever.
And then Casey and April kiss.
They do that?
Yeah.
I don't remember seeing that.
They do.
I probably looked down.
It's pointless because he's not in the second one.
Oh, look at that.
But he's in the third one. It's weird. It's really weird. But yeah, dude,
he's in it in a weird way.
It's like a perfect combination of what was good about the comics and what was good about the cartoon.
Yes.
The second one has a little bit more about what was good about the cartoon, but that's okay. The second one's still really good. The second one used to be my favorite.
Yeah, if you guys don't know, we're gonna watch the second one next.
Yeah, the next one's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2: Secret of the Ooze.
Yeah, we will be reviewing that one next, and then we'll be reviewing the third one, and then I'll make the announcement what we're reviewing next. If you guys didn't catch on, we're gonna be reviewing like 3 movies of a certain series.
Yeah.
And then just moving on to the next one. But
there's a certain orange cat that has a new movie. No, I'm just kidding. I haven't even
not
seen
yet.
We're gonna see the new Garfield movie eventually.
I plan on watching that in theaters.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I want to watch that.
But we would have to do it with like 2 more.
What? Guess?
No, Garfield movies.
Oh, yeah.
No.
We could run out of theater and just. From what I remember, I don't know. I think I remember liking the first one more.
I mean,
but
all I could say about them is that compared to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 1990, live action remakes have come
They're better.
a shitty way. They used to be a lot better. Because live action 1990 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is peak cinema. Peak comic book movie.
Is there any final notes you want to leave out? This is really your movie.
Well, I mean, we talked about how amazing the film is. We talked about the plot. We talked about the themes of like fatherhood. It's really emotional at times. Yeah. It's really deep.
And you said this is your favorite comic book movie.
Yeah. The Turtles are great. Splinter's amazing. April's awesome. Casey's there. He's just there. Shredder's also there.
Yeah.
I'm going to get so much flack for hating on Shredder in this movie.
Because I love Shredder in every interpretation he's ever been in, but he's only been in like...
The Foot Clan's cool, but Shredder himself is
the Foot Clan in this movie more than Shredder is.
Yeah.
And that's kind of disappointing.
And final thoughts of the movie, bring back Charles and Danny. No, I'm just kidding. Don't do that.
Do not do that, please.
No, this movie was great.
I love this movie. I liked it. It was pretty good to start off with this trilogy. And I know you're nervous to go further down, but...
It's only going to go down. However, personally, I like the second one just as much as the first one.
Okay.
But after the second one,
the third one just goes
dog
down.
shit.
Yeah.
All right.
We're going to get to the ratings now.
Yeah, hopping into ratings.
I'm going to let you go first. You got to remember, be brutally honest, and remember, you're going to take accountability for all the movies we're watching, because that's what I do with my list.
I'm going to try to be brutally honest.
Yes.
Because... And I've seen plenty of...
And I know you might be a little biased.
I've been watching this movie since I was 6, dude. But this is one of my favorite comic book films of all time. It is a perfect combination of the comics and the cartoons.
Yeah.
Therefore, it's a perfect adaptation of the property. And, yeah, in my opinion, they couldn't have done much better than they did.
No, suit's great, setting's great, villain is even good. Even though he's in it barely, but it's okay.
Because of cool. Shredder and Casey Jones being a little, like, dated and just, like... But honestly, to me, like, they just add, like, a comic book flair to it. So, like...
That just shows the time period we're in.
Yeah, exactly.
Even the newer one, they say you're and they...
Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of 90s.
Yeah.
Like
you expect it from these
Turtles
movies.
are products
go by
of
the time. Yeah, exactly.
But, I mean, my final rating, this movie's so good. I'm going to have to go with, like, a 9.8.
9.8? Jesus, that's the highest rating you're ever going to give anything probably in this show. 9.8.
It's such a good. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. Top 5.
I respect it. You know. All right. I'm gonna give. I mean, yeah. Damn. Because other than just the villain, I didn't. Because he was barely in it, and the Foot Clan just being children, and Casey just. I never liked Casey, and then Danny, mid character.
Danny and Charles.
I love the movie. I'm excited for the second one, but as of this case, I'm just gonna give this movie an 8.5.
Yeah, it's a really good movie.
I really did appreciate this movie, and I really appreciate you. Watching it with me, because I think it's always better to watch a movie with someone.
Thank you for watching this movie.
Yeah, man, of course.
You don't understand. Yeah. Like, this was my...
Because like I told you before, I probably watched this movie once, and I haven't even watched the rest. I've only watched this one.
I think I've seen it probably... This was my probably 110,000th time.
It's just like me with my Godzilla movies. I probably watched it, all of them.
Yeah, a million times.
Yeah.
But, yeah, dude, Ninja Turtles 1 is amazing. Next week... Hopefully, we'll be reviewing the second one.
If you, of course, if you're free.
If I'm home.
Yeah.
I live here half the time.
Yeah. Pretty soon in summertime, he's about to be out of here.
I'll about to be out of here.
He's gonna be. So I'll be having to probably do the Discord calls.
Get some guest stars.
Yeah. No, Discord calls.
Yeah, that's
with you. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can get you.
Set that up.
Yeah.
But this movie, I gave it a 9.8. Jake
I give it an 8.5, and.
Really good movie.
A really good movie. I would watch this again. I would make my kids watch it.
For sure. My kids will watch it. All right, y'all. Enjoy.
I hope you all have a great day. Thank you for popping up to this podcast. And the next movie we'll be reviewing is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2. That came out what year?
Secret 92, 91 or 92, I think. I think 91, but I don't know.
We'll see. But yeah, we'll be reviewing that next week. And if we can't, I will just do a Discord call.
Yeah.
This will be a first of ours.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you for watching, and thank you for listening, and we hope you have a great time. Subscribe, go to Nick's all his descriptions will be down below, my descriptions
check
as well.
Out my clothes.
Yeah.
And my YouTube
He's got these fire hats that are about to come out soon.
Yeah, oh my god, I have hats now.
Yeah,
you guys, the hats are out now.
Yes, and I love
the
hats.
Go check them out.
Yes, I want a couple. And guys, just take care.
Yeah, peace.